Hey, it's me, Rishikesh Kannan, popularly known as Hrishi K. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell icon now to get the latest videos and get taken into a world of entertainment, culture, sport, business, and current affairs.
Second of Jan, the Sharks are back. From me, Hrishi K. Everybody who's watching, listening, please welcome people who I think are not just exceptional business people, but great mentors. Great to see you, Vineeta. How are you?
Good. Very excited to finally be on the show.
You just met Mr. Bachchan on the KBC set.
Yes.
There must be a huge contrast to meeting Kapil Sharma on his set and then Mr.
I
Bachchan.
thought you were saying with you, but I was going to say we both have a great bass voice, so that was similar.
Thank you, Vineeta. So how was that?
He was
Meeting
super
the big
fun.
man.
He's very generous and very gracious. He was very warm with all of us.
And he's also very intrigued by business. He says he didn't turn out to be a great businessman, but I disagree. I mean, look at the way he's branded himself. You want to add to that? I mean, one always looks at you guys as examples of great branding. Mr. Bachchan himself is a superb brand, isn't he?
Yeah, and I think, at the age of 80, what he's doing, how he's doing, it was, for me, what was not believable that this Mr. Bachchan standing in front of us is really 80 years old. It just didn't feel like he was still so warm, energetic, disciplined, doing this thing, inspiring people. It was something else.
And Abhishek and him have the greatest collection of headphones ever. I wish I met you before that to tell you. Otherwise, you could have asked them lots of stuff.
No, that's why I can hear the bass on his voice. He must be using good BoAt head.
Good boat.
Somebody said na AB ko bass pasand hai.
AB ko business. That's a good one. Guys, I mean, the fact that you're back on this incredible show, what is it to you, Vineeta, that appeals to you most in an entrepreneur's story? Is it the emotion of it? Is it the practicality of it? Or is it just good old-fashioned money sense?
I think the emotion of it is definitely most important because the practicality and the money sense, they come and go. All of us have at some point started businesses that didn't end up working. And, we learned a lot in the process. And I feel that every entrepreneur goes through their own journey of figuring the business out. But if they have their heart in the right place, if they're genuinely passionate about solving a problem, they're excited about showing up for the consumer day after day over decades, then I think that is the biggest winner for me. And everything else will come into place eventually.
Your business is a classic business of a business that actually is supposed to provide utility to people, make them see things better. But you made it a fashion statement. Can I ask you if you're wearing powered glasses or not?
No, I'm wearing just blue computer glasses.
Yeah, so that's a prime example of somebody taking the optician's business and making it look cool. Was that something you learned over the course of the business, or did you do that by design right from the beginning? Saying, if I can make this a cool accessory, even for people who don't have power, it can take my brand to the next level.
So we started with the problem of giving people glasses for vision correction. But we realized that there is seldom cases where you wear things for the utility. Right? आप जूते अभी नहीं पहनते क्योंकि आपकी जो आपके पैर गंदे ना हो. राइट? आप घड़ी भी इसलिए नहीं पहनते हो कि आपको टाइम देखना है, वो तो सब दिखता है. तो जो आईवेयर में जो ये बाय डिजाइन किया हमने, कि we realize कि eventually looks matter, right? And this is such a powerful accessory. और ये कहीं ना कहीं एक explored opportunity है लोगों के लिए. तो ये डिजाइन था कि अगर लोगों को स्पेक्स पहनाने हैं और वो चाहते हैं कि वो आई टेस्ट करें, तो इसको कूल, जैसे फोन को ही देख लो ना, कैमरा इज द बिगेस्ट थिंग इन अ फोन. इट्स नॉट कि आप इससे बेहतर बात कर पा रहे हो. I think it was literally understanding that insight and then taking a bold bet on it.
And Aman, to me, I think you priced your product brilliantly. We have a 10-year-old whose birthday was yesterday. And I was really happy that she settled for a pair of boats as opposed to spending an arm and a leg for a pair of AirPods, and they work just fine. And how much did you work at the right price? What do you think was right for your product?
I think, the 10-year-olds are smarter than most of us, because they are AirPod generation. So I would say that they value Indian brands a lot of these young guys. And I think they don't care too much about it being, let me rephrase it. Okay. Today's generation is a smart generation. They know exactly what they want, how they want. And they know that in India, the cheapest doesn't always sell. If you look at the cheapest car which was made in India, it was a big disaster, right? India is a very value-driven, price-conscious.
And Mr. Tata himself says that.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's what you're saying is making absolute.
India is a very value-driven, price-conscious country, and people like aspirational products. India is very aspirational, and affordability is in our blood. Even when we buy the best of the cars, we need a discount. Even if you're looking at any subscription online, people share passwords. So it's in our blood, right? All of us are like that. So even if you look at the best of the products today, online or offline, they're sold on a bit of a discount, right? It's a part of our lifestyle. Okay? So India is not about price. India is about aspiration and affordability with value creation.
He made a very important point about Make in India. And I think we've reached a point where a lot of us have turned around and said, I mean, why can't we drive a Mahindra as opposed to a Western European car? Because you're getting the same values, you're getting more bang for the buck. And as a native Indian brand, which is what you build Sugar to be, how important is this whole Make in India thing for you?
Yeah, I have seen this entire journey over the last 7 years. When we started in 2015-16, people would say that you cannot sell a premium product made in India. So you have to pretend, why don't you just add a Sugar Germany or a US to the name on your retail signboards, because it'll just make sense for the lipstick to be priced at $800. And cut to, I think 2022, a lot of things happened. Like the whole, firstly, the youth, they're very conscious of their environment. They're very socially responsible. They're not, just thinking about getting the best for them, but they're also thinking about what makes sense for their country, for their people. Secondly, they believe in authenticity. So they love brands that have a story. They trust brands that, they can connect with, rather than brands that are purely just built on being aspirational and unrelatable. So I feel that in the last 7 years, I've seen this transition where brands like us are now proud to say we are made for Indian women, we are made in India, we are made by Indian women. And it's something that, and thus we are premium, thus we are built this way. And it's not now about, making something in Europe and US and then only being able to charge a premium. So I'm very happy, and I never thought I'd live to see this day where Indians would think that, Indian products are cool and are cooler than international products, but here we are.
Peyush, one would have thought that after the pandemic, the way buzz was created online, that you wouldn't go back to a robust brick and mortar business. And you guys have done that, man. I mean, I think brick and mortar, the physical store is more important than ever before for you. So you want to talk about that phase when you had to decide whether you want to go gung-ho back to on ground, back to brick and mortar, as opposed to retailing online.
So, look, my view is that, this whole concept of brick and mortar versus online is quite a traditional concept. If you look at the consumer today, phone is at the center of every consumer, whether you're buying brick and mortar or you're buying online. And I think this obsession that customers and, the brands have, not customers, to just push a consumer to buy online, sometimes you're over obsessive about it. But in reality, we have 1.2 billion people, right? 200 million people could be shopping online. But there are 1 billion people with smartphones in India today, right? Who are consuming content, who are browsing, but are not ready to just go and make the purchase. They want to touch, feel. And that's not true for just eyewear. That's true for everything. We all shop omni-channel today, right? So I think we've built it in a way that the boundaries are not there for our customers. Almost 50-60% of our customers, right, are almost 50-60% of our customers today are shopping across channels, right? So I don't think it's so. Yes, we went back to it because I think 80% of India is still shopping on that channel, and I think they'll continue to shop across channels. ऐसा नहीं होता है कि अभी मैं खाली जूते ऑनलाइन ही खरीदता हूँ. मैं कभी ऑनलाइन भी खरीदता हूँ, कभी ऑफलाइन भी खरीदता हूँ, कभी अपने स्टोर पे भी खरीदता हूँ, कभी मार्केट प्लेस पे भी खरीदता हूँ, कभी मेगा मार्ट में भी खरीदता हूँ. So I think it's built. What is unique is the supply chain model. That how are you fulfilling it? Because we're still fulfilling it in the form of an online brought it, when we talk about e-commerce, it's not the front end which is e-commerce, it's the back end. It's the warehouse model where you stock goods and you ship them out. तो वो स्टोर से ऑर्डर करो या आप ऑनलाइन ऑर्डर करो, स्पेक्स को सेंट्रलाइज तरीके से ऑटोमेटेड बना के शिप करना is where the magic is, right? It's not in the, involved होता रहेगा चैनल. Who knows how people will buy in the future?
I know that Vineeta and you get asked this a lot, but I have to ask you, both the name, I mean, it floats my boat. But
That's
how did you come up with it?
That's our tagline actually.
Yeah, floating your boat. Huh?
It's like do what floats your boat.
So I love the imagery of it, how you've written the BoAt, as well as the brand. So take me through that story. How did that happen?
So it was a friend of mine. I did not have a lot of money at that time, and there was a friend of mine, in fact my wife's friend, and he was working for Ogilvy, and he was leaving Ogilvy and joining somewhere else, and he had like a month in between, and in that 1 month I said, can you please help me? I have only this much money I can give you. And he came out with a few names, and जैसे घर पे बच्चे का नाम रखते हैं ना, वैसे ही हमने इसका नाम रखा है. You know what I mean? There's emotion behind it कि क्या रखें, बहुत सोचा, दिमाग लगाया, फिर उसने हमारे को 10 नाम दिए, उसमें से मैंने 5 नाम लेके गया समीर के पास, फिर समीर ने बोला तू देख ले यार तेरे को जो ठीक लगता है, फिर हमने बोट रख दिया. So but it's a good feeling when if you look at the names which came in, if I tell you, they were more related to.
What was the closest, the second best, that came almost close to beating boat?
There was a brand called Hash.
That would have got you into trouble.
It was more like the hashtag generation. Right?
But dirty mind if anybody thinks any other way.
I could see both of you do that, right? So we avoided that.
That's cool. So boat and hash. So you went for boat. A woman in business that you really admire, apart from you yourself.
Lots
a lot of people
of
admire
them.
you.
I admire Falguni Nair a lot.
Yeah, she's quite cool.
She started a business in her 50s, and she started it just a bit before Sugar, about 2-3 years before Sugar. And I remember at that time, everybody said that e-commerce is done to death, and vertical e-commerce will never scale. And she just built this fantastic business, Nykaa, profitable unicorn, listed in the markets. She owns 50% of the business. She's phenomenal. Somebody I really look up to, and we work with them as well. So she's somebody I get to learn from regularly as well.
Is there a ridiculous idea that was floated on Shark Tank? Don't talk about the Nabi one, because that has been talked about. But other than that, an idea which you just went, whoa, this is fairly ridiculous.
वो last season की जो last pitch थी वो कौन सी थी?
So this time some ideas came, right?
This time, can we say?
I mean,
No, this time I can't say.
Well, you can.
I think I think I can say it. I don't know about you guys, but.
It's whatever. We don't have to go into the details.
But I think there's some funny stuff that has come on. Sensual agarbattis and petticoat and it's
So that's so Indian, no? Sensual petticoat.
sensual agarbatti came, right?
Oh wow, yeah, I wasn't there. That sounds funny. And petticoat also something I wasn't there.
An Indian in business that you really admire. I mean, a captain of the industry that you really think is cool.
Who, me? So I would say Mr. Tata, the Tata Group, they do it well. India feels pride when Tata does something, and people look up to them. And in fact, if you work with them, also if you people who work with Tata Group, they also are very proud to be a part of the Tata Group
system. Yeah.
There is an amazing value system, and that translates into the brand. That is amazing. That people still talk about Tata as a brand. So I remember last year IPL ho raha tha, and Tata took the IPL, and everybody was very happy that Tata is taking over the IPL. So
Yeah,
Tata's got that.
I agree. I saw a Twitter poll the other day where Twitter is all like Gen Z and very young millennials, right? And there was a poll that if you were to, work with a neobank, if you were to put your money in a neobank, started by which of the four would you? Google, Amazon, Tata and Reliance.
Tata.
And I was like, no-brainer Amazon or Google because they know tech, right? And all Gen Zs were like Tata 50%. And I was like, my mom blindly trusts Tatas and the 16-year-olds.
They also trust Tata.
That is incredible.
Correct. Old school power company.
Over centuries is incredible.
Yeah. And T for Tata, T for trust.
Yeah, totally. Who's the funniest on set?
I think all of us take turns sometimes. I'm like the last few. He's so modest about it.
He's the funniest guy yourself.
He's the funniest guy. I don't know about women.
So we all take turns. I would say in the last 2 weeks, this guy was like,
that's
fire
not my thing.
We were like so frustrated that he became so funny.
And who gets pissed off when lunch is late or dinner is late on set?
I think Namita, for pissing off at X, you can put X as equal to anything. Getting late.
Why is it that a lot of people ask Kashmir whether he's gussa or he's angry and things like that? Is it show that side? Or is it just Kashmir? Or does he show that side to the contestants a lot? Is that the way it is?
No comments.
But it's not an easy thing to do. Sometimes there's a really great idea, you show admiration. Sometimes there's a crap idea.
Yeah.
But you have to show that compassion.
Yes.
Is it difficult to do? Sometimes
Not at all for me because I've been on the other side a lot more than I've been on this side. I've been on the side of pitching and getting rejected a lot more. So like disrespecting the founder is something I just can never do because it doesn't come naturally to me because I always see myself in them.
True.
But yeah, telling them that it's not going to work, we do it all the time in our own ways.
How important is impacting social change for you? Like a lot of people come with this idea that impact social change.
It's quite a controversial topic now in China because to me it comes, and Aman says it all the time, to me it comes naturally.
Yeah.
And for me it is important, to be honest, it is important. But अभी क्या है, सबको गंगा में हाथ धोना है, सबको लगता है कि यही चल रहा है. And for me it is important at various levels, right? Because I started Lenskart not as a pure business, right? It wasn't the motivation because I was doing well, job भी अच्छी थी, ऐसा कोई वो नहीं था. And अभी भी I hadn't had to, मतलब अभी वो motivation नहीं है मेरे को अभी भी, पता नहीं कभी बदल जाए तो मेरे लिए तो बहुत जरूरी है अभी. एंड बट ये मैं जितनी बार बोलूंगा उतनी बार मैं ट्रोल होऊंगा, उतनी बार मैं
taking his case, but he's genuinely a mad guy. He's genuinely so emotional that he doesn't. He doesn't think about money like.
No, मैं वही कह रहा हूँ कि for him it comes naturally. And I've learned a lot. जैसे ये जो purpose-driven investments.
But some people overtake it.
They see which you have
to make a mark on you guys, and they will purposely oversell the social aspect. Are you wary of that? Do you keep your answer back for that?
No, let me finish the first answer. So I was saying with him, we all learned it on the art of looking at social causes, the art of being purpose-driven. So it's good learning from people like Peyush around us. And it comes genuinely to him.
Yeah.
We all change.
Both sides, audience is very smart. So if a pitcher comes and fakes that purpose, if sharks can see through it. Similarly, if sharks try to fake ride on Peyush's bus, then I think the audience will see.
Yeah, audience is very public है ये सब जानती है.
So there are people as to.
Okay, I'm going to take a last question. I want all of you to individually answer it. If all of you were to take a holiday together, don't say this.
Sponsored by Namita.
Fine, sponsored by Namita. Where would you like to go individually? where would you think was a good place to go? And you have to give me a reason why. For example, if you say Banaras, you could say it's great to do the Aarti together, or whatever it is. Or if you say Switzerland, give me the reason why all of you should go there together.
Okay, so let's start with her.
Yeah. Vineeta, where would you like to go and why?
I think we should go to Vegas together because I want to see all of them lose a lot of money.
Gamble it away.
That's a good
That's
idea.
fun. Vegas and you guys. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Exactly.
You can't take cameras.
Yeah, exactly. And nobody knows there.
Except
Here the problem is Aman Gupta's fan club is like following us everywhere, so it's a problem.
I would go to the Andamans, but at a place where there's no social media, no internet, and to me this idea was very, difficult. But then I've experienced it once. I genuinely think I would go to any area where there is no internet, social media, and then all sharks are there, and then एक वो होगा ना तब बात करनी है, तब discussion करनी है, तब एक तो वहाँ लेके.
Wife is here. He doesn't go to the bathroom without his phone. He doesn't go to the set. With like all of us are like, pictures gonna start. The guy has to literally take his phone away.
Exactly.
You will like not survive 2 hours.
I have survived now. I went to Andamans once. I went to this place called Barefoot. And वहाँ चलता ही नहीं
place, Barefoot.
I got engaged at Barefoot.
हाथी साफ किया, धुलवाया, and all that. You did that.
नहीं, हम बीच पे थे. हमारा फोन नहीं था तो एक टाइम एक दो दिन तो इतना अजीब लगता है कि कुछ है ही नहीं. बट उसके बाद you start, तो वो जाना भी 1 हफ्ते के लिए पड़ेगा. मतलब it won't work otherwise.
Did you do that actually without the phone for 1 day?
We spent a lot of time at the beach because that is the only place
रिजॉर्ट अंदर है तो आपको हर बार वो लंबी वॉक करके जाना पड़ता है. And then you have to come back.
Last, just wrap that up. Where would you like to go and why?
I would say to a place where, which Vineeta said, Vegas. I would agree, and let's make that plan like soon.
I think.
And play the slot machines and play.
अभी 3 पत्ती का प्लान है हमारा.
Poker.
Poker will be good as well.
2nd of January, streaming on Sony Live and also on Sony Entertainment Television. These fine people on Shark Tank. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.